Since having access to endurance score on my Garmin Fenix 7S Pro, since I got my Fenix 7S Pro, I've now come to appreciate the utility of it. So one can see the score itself, one can also see the last 12 weeks and even the last year, compared to VO2 Max. In this case, running VO2 Max, where one only can see, at least on Android, the last 6 months. So what's the difference between VO2 Max and endurance score? VO2 Max is kind of the classical thing that is also used in sports literature. The VO2 Max estimate updates with every run, at least on my Fenix 7S Pro, that is 70% heart rate for at least 10 minutes. Now the endurance score seems to also update with other activities, not just runs, and this makes it far more valuable, I think. If I do 40 minutes or let's just say 500 calories on a Assault Bike Pro X, then the endurance score updates. If I go for a 10-minute jog, the endurance score updates. If I sleep particularly well, then also the endurance score seems to update. So the endurance score is more like a real-time measurement, or rather score, of one's endurance that goes up and down with recovery, but also up and down with the accumulated load, or with the load one has accumulated in the last couple of days, but probably even weeks. We can also see what Garmin itself actually writes about endurance score. In this case, it writes first of all that my endurance score is 7K approximately, and this puts me into the category of well-trained. And I often wondered, what is the upper limit of endurance score actually? And the answer is now pretty obvious. I just would have had to look into the help here. And an endurance score of 8,800 would still be possible, which is also not that high if one considers that I'm already at 7.2K. Not to boast too much about myself, but I assumed at least maybe there are some people that have a endurance score of 12,000 or 14,000 or 15,000. If I again go to VO2 Max, then there are some people out there like the record holder Oskar Svensson from, I think, Norway, who has a VO2 Max, not Garmin estimate, but actually properly measured, of 96. So if I'm not even, so I'm basically almost half the 96. If then endurance score would scale linearly with VO2 Max also, this would mean that there would be an endurance score possible of maybe 15K or something like this.